So step one for us today is going to be to set up our kayak ready to actually do the installation. Now you'll see I've used my same racks that I use on my trailer, essentially for transportation. Set it up on a couple of sawhorses just to make sure you've got a nice steady platform and you're actually going to be able to operate and work on the kayak with it at height. The next thing we're going to do is strip all the accessories, things that are going to be in the way during the installation. That's going to help us put this bad boy together. So we're going to open up the front bonnet here, have a look at the business end, and we're running the FPV power splitter box down here, and so we're going to actually find the power cord that runs to our sounder for the Hummingbird installation. We're going to remove all of the shielding and this wiring, and we're going to disconnect this bad boy and see if we can't move those cables out to make ready for the new Garmin installation. So we are going to require a few tools to actually remove some of the old unit. Just a pair of good quality snips and maybe some side cutters, and we're just going to remove all of the gear in here. That'll give us access to a lot of the wiring underneath. Now you'll see that this particular unit is fitted with the Hobie waterproof to some degree fittings through the hull, so we're going to need to remove those as well. So inside, basically access through here, arm up under to actually undo the threaded screw at the other end of this. Of course, one of the hardest parts was always going to be to get up actually under here in order to get to the back of these units here. So the Hobie plugs are actually quite good. Very expensive to buy, but they are very waterproof, probably one of the best that you can get. Again, it's Hobie, so it's a little bit more expensive, but definitely worth the cost over time, unless you're fitting heaps of sounders, in which case, not sure. Pretty simple installation when it comes to the actual transducer. You can see this is the old Hummingbird one. Again, as we said before, slightly wider, probably about the same size in depth, but just that little bit chunkier. So again, one of the things that we use here is, you can see the attachment point is a little bit interesting, so we will be able to remove that. And you can see this is the Railblazer mount. Essentially, by pushing the unlock, sliding this down, the transducer goes down and into the lock position like so, and then that allows us to shoot left and right with our side view unobstructed from the pedals at the front, and being able to shoot a side view of the ground and everything else that we are trying to see underneath the kayak. It is, or it does, put a little bit of drag on the side of the kayak, and you will find that it is pretty close inboard, so it's not actually sitting out too far, which gives you a lot more drag to the right, but it will produce a little bit of drag, but it gives you a nice clean side view picture, which is exactly what we're looking for. So some of my other kayaks, such as my old Outback, will actually install the transducer inside, and it's basically a hull shoot through, so it'll shoot through the hull and gives you a nice clean installation, but absolutely rubbish for side view. Now for this next bit, we're actually going to start to put the GT56 together. So you can see this is the component that come with it. It's the base mounting point. You've got 5 screws that will go in here, match the 5 holes in there. This slots over it and sits down into that, and then we whack the screws in and then we can mount our transducer. Now you can see I've mounted the 5 screws into there. That's all good. There's 2 extras that are left. Now these are the 2 that are set up for when you're going to use the transducer with that optional bracket that I just showed you before to mount your trolling motor. So rather than lose those, I'm just going to put them in. Now obviously your transducer is going to be dunked in salt water. These are all stainless steel fittings, so I'm electing to actually put those stainless steel fittings in like that and keep them there in case I ever want to use them later. So those little hex washers that you saw going on, they're designed to help it bite in and actually hold them in place. So just a quick check of the tension. You don't want to over tight them, you want to be a little bit overhand tight, just to make sure they're all secured away. So when this bracket actually goes on over the top, it actually clips down into a little recess, and it actually sits in there quite nice. Now we're ready to actually install the transducer. Now one of the things I got going here is when I'm installing a new one onto this spline here, it's a little bit tight, so I'm just going to work it in like so and get our threaded rod through that to be able to mount our transducer. Of course, one of the main things that you want to do before you finish adjusting this and the angle that the transducer sits at is to actually look at it in the down position to actually see how well your side scan works, and you can see that's sitting relatively level there, so it should be good to be able to shoot the beam out left and right. Alright, now it's time to take a look at mounting our Railblazer onto our actual unit. So I've got a couple of stainless steel screws here that I'm actually going to use, and then I'm going to go through those mounting plates and basically to help us bolt that on. Now the wind's come up and we've actually got to get this transducer cord from the back of the PA right to the front. So this is where something like this comes in handy. So from Super Cheap, this little grabber. So all we're going to do is grab hold of this end of the cord here, like that. We're going to thread this metal piece up and through, and that's going to help us be able to grab that on the other side and pull this through. Because you do have to navigate around a whole bunch of the interior linings of the kayak. So now we have our system set up, our wiring done. We've just got to tidy up some of this stuff, make sure it goes in there properly, and then we're ready to hook her up and see how she goes. Alright, so here we are. We thought we'd just sit in the seat, get her all rigged up and get her going for the first time to see how we go. Now we'll have to go run through and pull off. Ooh, that was special. Alright, let's agree. So it doesn't look like Australia is there, so let's go other. We want English, and store demonstration, we can say we'll have that off. let's set up our chart plotter. So let's go, okay, we're a powerboat. Well, close enough. And let's go 24. We don't need UTC. Let's talk about metric, and the minimum overhead clearance for our boat is at least going to be 3 meters. So that's okay. That should set up my rods, and let's accept all of that. Alright, there we go. Australia, New Zealand, your subscription is not active. Connect the Active Captain app to your chart plotter to activate your subscription. Okay, so let's start off. We've got our app here, Active Captain, and we'll get that started up. So we're going to activate that. I agree. And I've read these before. Let's continue. Let's put our Garmin account in. For that, I'm going to need 2 hands for that. Let's go, okay. Oh, look at these different charts. Fishing chart and nav chart. Let's go 3D. Okay. Here we go. Showing us where we are. Let's zoom right in. And yes, we are close to the water at North Pine, but not quite there. Sitting in my backyard. But there you go, have a look at that. There's the detail, and you can see Lake Samsonvale. Can't wait to have a bit more of a go at that in all of the channels, and everything you'd normally find on the Navionics card, so that's pretty cool, and GPS position as well. That's awesome. Alright, let's get this thing connected and we'll see what we can do. Okay, and we're back. So we've logged in. So we want to set up, complete these steps to set up Active Captain. So let's go My Marine Devices. Let's add a product, shall we? And we have our Wi-Fi. Let's continue. So we need to search on our Wi-Fi for compatible devices. So that means we'll need to set this jigger up over here. Vessel, Active Captain. That's what we want. Alright. Let's select the Wi-Fi network. Let's turn the Wi-Fi. Okay, let's configure for the first time. We'll connect to another chart plotter. No, this will be the host. So let's clear all of that. And let's go scroll, drag, Garmin, done. Alright, it's configuring our network. Alright, so we're back again. So gone onto my iPhone here, gone into the Wi-Fi, and we want to connect to the Garmin, Skulldrag Garmin. So I'm just going to enter in my code here, and we're going to join that network. Yep, we've got a tick on there, that's looking good. Let's go back to Active Captain. There we go, and look, there we are, Leah Ungerman at Gmail. Let's continue for that. Registered you, done to confirm. Nice. Alright, new user was added, excellent. Select the card. Okay, let's try that, insert a memory card. Okay, so obviously this is our little slot down here, and we're going to need to insert an SD card. Oh yeah, 32 gig card in. We have done that. Let's go. Card. Safety card. There we go. User waypoints transferred. Transfer complete. Yeehaw. Alright, looks like we're all set up. Let's go back to home. Look at that. We have our vessel, we have our charts, we have our combo views. Have a look at all these jiggers. That's awesome. Alright, well, looks like we've got this thing set up and ready to go. We can start to commence some water trials next. So stay tuned for the next episode, guys, and we're going to get this little beast out of the water. But thanks very much for watching, guys, for the setup of the new Garmin. Look right out here. It's been awesome. Can't wait to actually get to use this out on the water. The setup's looking pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with how tidy that's all turned out, and it's going to be good to actually see how well we can use this thing out on the water, and exactly what the exactly whether or not the screen's going to be bright enough in bright sunlight without actually having a shade over the top of it. All those sorts of things that we're going to test out in the water test. But thanks very much for joining us, guys. If you've enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and we'll bring you more content as we go along. But thanks very much for watching. We'll see you guys next time out on the water.